Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Nuran Academy. Today, we're going to explore a really beautiful parable on the ethics of service in Islam. We hope you find some benefit in this story, and if you do, we'd be so grateful if you'd support our work by subscribing and sharing. It's a form of ongoing charity, a sadaqah jariyah. All right, let's begin.
Our story today is called The Mercy of Salim, Medicine Beyond Profit. It's a parable, and it's inspired by the deep ethical traditions within Islam. It really gets into a timeless tension. That feeling of how true service sometimes stands in direct opposition to just making money.
This one sentence, right here, it really sets the stage for everything. It paints a picture of a world where knowledge, especially the kind of knowledge that can heal people, isn't just some private thing you own. It's a profound responsibility, a goodie you have to your community. And that brings us to the big question our main character, Salim the healer, dares to ask. What is a fair price for relief? It sounds simple, doesn't it? But it's a question that really challenges the way we think about value and well-being. It forces us to look past the marketplace and into the very heart of mercy itself. So, who was this healer? Well, in our first section, we're looking at Salim's foundational path, where the seeds of his ethics were really planted. His training was all about learning to heal, not learning how to sell.
What I love about this is how it breaks down his training. Each point is a whole discipline in itself. Grinding herbs carefully, that's about precision and excellence. Keeping records, that's accountability. But listen longer than speaking? Wow, that's about humility. It's about empathy. The whole point wasn't to master a skill so you could dominate the market, but to serve other human beings with real care.
This was the core lesson from Salim's mentor. And it's just such a beautiful distinction, isn't it? Technical skill, being accurate, that's what heals a single person's body. But mercy, the compassion you bring to that skill, that's what heals the entire community. It's what builds trust and holds everyone together. Okay, so the core concept holding all of this together is the Islamic principle of amana, or trust. The idea is that your knowledge, your talents, your money, they aren't really yours. They're a trust from God, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they've been given to you for a reason that's way bigger than just your own benefit. For Salim, this was a sacred truth. His skill with medicine wasn't just his property, it was his amana. All right, so let's see what happens next. You know how it is. Every principle eventually gets tested. And for Salim, that test came right at the crossroads of profit and principle. It was a temptation in the marketplace that, honestly, many of us face in our own jobs today. And this slide just lays out the conflict so clearly. On one side, you've got the logic of the market, use people's pain and desperation to set high prices, create exclusive access. But on the other side, you have the ethic of Islam, which just flips the entire question. It doesn't ask how much can I get, it asks if I charge this much, who am I turning away? Whose dignity am I risking? So faced with this dilemma, Salim didn't just ignore the need to make a living. Nope. He got innovative. He built a legacy of trust by creating a completely different kind of pricing model, one that balanced being sustainable with sticking to his principles. So here's how it actually worked. It was a tiered system, but it was based on what people could afford, not on the service they got. The wealthy, they paid the full amount, and in doing so, they were basically sponsoring the care for others. People who were struggling paid what they could, and the poorest, they received care completely for free. And this is the most important part. It was all handled with complete honor and privacy. There was no shame, no feeling of being a charity case. And the result? It was incredible. The system wasn't just stable financially, it thrived. And why? Because the foundation wasn't money, it was trust. When the community saw that Salim's #1 goal was to protect their dignity, they supported his clinic with a kind of loyalty that money could just never buy. His commitment was tested again. A rich patron offered to fund a bigger, more exclusive clinic just for wealthy clients. Salim said no. And his reason? It just says everything about him. He wrote that he was afraid that if healing became a luxury item, a privilege, then his hands would literally forget their purpose. The mercy would just disappear. So, this is where the story stops being about the past and starts being about us, right here, right now. This section is all about the question Salim's life asks every single one of us, no matter what we do for a living. Your skill is your choice. And here's the real takeaway. Being a true professional, from an Islamic perspective, isn't just about being great at your job. It's about being a guardian. It's about actively protecting mercy and compassion inside the systems we all work in, making sure they don't get squeezed out by that constant pressure to make more profit. So we leave you with this final, powerful question. When your unique skill, whether you're a doctor, a coder, a teacher, an artist, whatever it is, when it has the power to ease someone's suffering, what's going to be your guiding light? Are you going to focus on maximizing profit, or are you going to fight to protect access for the people who need you the most?
Presented and created by Nuran Studio. Wassalamu alaikum.